Good evening, everybody. It's another Monday night with Bees all day. So, how's everybody doing tonight? So, it's been a hot weekend, a hot 4th of July. It was very warm here Saturday. Friday, it was over 100 degrees. Saturday, it was over 100 degrees. Sunday morning, we were done by 9:30. And we extracted the rest of the day Saturday. We extracted all the 10 frame on Saturday, and we extracted all of our 8 frame on Sunday. So it has been go, go, go all weekend. Hey, Mark. Roy, how are you? DC, how are you tonight? There's Keith and Kathy and Mike and Odell. There's Clay. How are you doing after your fall the other day? Let's see. Jeremy. And who else have we got in here? Pennsylvania. Good to see you in here tonight. And George is in here tonight. Block Farm Apiary's in here. And that's it for right now. But we had a pretty poor season this year. We got a little over 200 pounds and very disappointing. But I relay it all back to the drought. It's very, very dry here. Yeah. Hey, DC. Clay still having headaches, huh? Maybe you got a concussion, buddy. That's not a good thing, man. Not a good thing. Yeah. It's the past few days has really been tough around here. I'm gonna tell you what. Yep. So Clay, how much honey did you get this year? Have you got it all yet? Keith, have you finished pulling your honey yet? I know DC made a comment a while ago that he was tired of pulling honey. So how much did you end up with, DC? Got more pulled today. Yeah, we had some frames that weren't full. We had some uncapped frames as well. It didn't look like they were going to get capped. We tested them out, and they tested 15.5%. They were dry. It looks like Clay had a real good honey crop. So, yeah, we had all our frames that we actually extracted were capped. So, and I had some of Michael's cut comb frames in there. So I am going to have some cut comb this year. So that little bit of an experiment was worthwhile. So, but I know the bees will fill it out, but I had to put it down at the queen excluder to get them to do it. Oh, bear bulldozed his fence. I'm sorry to hear that, Jonathan. How much damage did he do? Did he get to any hives or just tear the fence up real bad? Yeah, Clay, I'll take it. I'd take 700 pounds any day too. Birthday present for your wife. Okay, 2 mediums left, DC. That's not bad. What do you think they weigh? You think you're going to get some honey off of them? So Jonathan's in here. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be It's going to be a little bit of a warm week this week. Hey, Tom, how are you tonight? So, have y'all started your honey pool yet, Tom? Or are you going to wait a little bit? I don't think Charlie's going to be on here tonight. So, anybody else that wants to come on in, feel free. We're doing well here. It's been a little hot. Hey, Barnhill. We got some rain today, Clay. It wasn't really a storm, but it was some rain. So I'll take whatever rain we can get. We got 2/10 of an inch last night. So I think we got about the same today. So, yep. Hey, Russell, how are you tonight? So when are you going to start extracting, Clay? Or have you already started? You have been. Okay. That's all right. That's good. Keeps you out of trouble anyway, doesn't it? Just got to keep you off the ladder. That's a young man's job, going up them ladders after those swarms. Yep, it sure is, isn't it, Clay? So I am going to have a pre-orders for Georgia. If anybody is interested in ordering anything, the I will post a code when it gets available. I'm glad they like those frames, DC. I'm glad they like them. AC unit. Come on now, Tom. An AC unit. That's what fans are for. Put the fans in the windows. Yes, my double dip acorn wax foundation and wax frames of the full frames. It's considered heavy. No, you got the code wrong. You got the code wrong. I told you once before what the code was going to be. Think about it. Think about Michael's nemesis. I will post it in the chat. Shipping is not free this year. Shipping will not be free this year. It's 15% off, Mark. No, it's not V for 10, Russell. I'm sure Acorn is going to be running a special for Nobby too because I'm not going. to Nobby this year. I'm going to Georgia instead, and then I'm going to EMBA. And there will be a discount code for EMBA as well. No, it's not buy one, get one free. It's 15% off. So, and the products are listed, will be listed as to what the discount code will get you. Hey, Joe, how are you tonight? Yeah, I just can't afford to go this year. Oh, if you're coming to Georgia to pick it up, if you're going to pick it up in Georgia, there is no delivery fee. If somebody wants to buy something on that discount code and then have me ship it to them, that's when the shipping will apply. So the best thing to do is if you're going to pick it up in Georgia, click in-store pickup. And that way I'll know to bring it to Georgia with me. Or I may put a radio button on there for you to pick up at Georgia instead of shipping or store pickup. And there is a note section on every product too. So there you go. Hey, Tar Heel, how are you tonight? Yeah, I'm sure Nobby is going to be a good party this year. Brian's paying. I like that one. I'm going if I DC, that's a long walk, buddy. Rocky Mountains are a little bit of a hard walk that time of year. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right, Eric. EMBA is going to be a party too because I had a ball there last year. I loved it. Hey, DC, maybe that's the one you need to come to instead of Nobby. So, how big of an air conditioning unit are you putting in your honey house, Tom? Are you going to freeze the honey while it's on the comb? EMBA, Eastern Missouri Beekeepers Association Conference. I'm sure he's going to love that one, Tom, since he's not on here tonight yet. Oh, boy. Yeah, Charlie's in a board meeting tonight. Well, the extractor the uncapper that we were doing they're going to be very doubtful. And Roy, yeah, we have a manual extractor and an electric extractor. They're not what you would want to call automatic. They don't accelerate on their own and they don't decelerate on their own. You have to turn the knob. I don't know. He's at a board meeting. So with the club that he belongs to. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, the uncapper Roy is I don't believe going to be a reality. It's just way too many bugs right now. And until we get all these bugs worked out, it's not going to happen. How many cards did you collect, DC? So let's see. DC, I've been so busy pulling honey and working bees right now, I don't have time to turn around. So, well, let me know when you get a dozen of them, DC. He might be pitching Hive Alive tonight. You never know. He could very well be pitching it. Yeah, I saw the dual knife heat uncapper. I saw that in your text. I got that picture. Yep, I saw that. Is Dinah in here? I haven't seen her tonight. There she is. Hey, Dinah, how are you tonight? Sounds like Tom's making plans. You better clear it with the boss first, Tom. Yeah, Eric, he's always planning something, isn't he? Yeah, but now you got to worry about the cold. Clay, now you got to worry about the cold. Hey, are you still going over to that place there in Weir's Cave, Clay? I don't know if St. Louis has got better food than Atlanta or not. We'll see. Yeah, the place over in Weir's Cave that you were going to on a regular basis to take care of bees. Don't tell me you lost that memory when you fell off the ladder, but maybe that's a good thing if you did. Yep, Tom, I imagine you will find the best restaurants in Atlanta. I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. It's Rafine, but I associate it with Weir's Cave because I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like you did do well this year, DC. You got some honey. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? Was to make sure you got honey. Mm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Toasted ravioli and butter cake. Where did you get that at, Mark? Okay, it's Vivor. Yeah, if you wanted a small one, I got a small one that's pretty reasonable. John come is gold. You're right about that, DC. It is gold. It never gets. Yep, pony shoe and a pony shoe. Four framers sold it for close to what I paid for it 2 years. Hey, you got your investment out of it, right, Russell? It paid for itself, didn't it? You haven't gotten it yet, DC? You should have had it. Hmm. Okay. So, what does everybody want to talk about tonight? So, what everybody that's taking honey, what are they testing out at with the as far as moisture? There's Todd. How are you tonight, Todd? Yeah, a lot of my stuff tested out between 15 and a half and 17 and a half. There's Joey. How are you tonight, Joey? Todd's driving home from work. Uh-oh. Yeah, somebody come in and help out. There he is. Did you have a good vacation?
I hadn't had no vacation. I don't know where that rumor got started. Wish I was.
Well, you missed a week. I figured you were on vacation.
Yeah, I've been out of pocket a good bit. With the exception of my own live Saturday night, I hadn't been able to come on too much in the last week or so.
Well, hey, it happens, right?
Yeah, it does. A lot of family stuff, you know.
Yeah. I know how that goes.
Well, how you doing, Bill? I just got in here. I don't know.
Well, Charlie's Hawk and Hive live tonight at a board meeting. And I'm running solo, was running solo till you came in. And
yeah,
it's been a long weekend. We pulled honey this weekend and extracted.
Yeah, I started pulling boxes this morning, but I didn't get very far. Maybe pull a few more boxes in the morning, trying to get some in the honey house where I can go ahead and dry them out a little bit and get them started, you know.
Yep.
Extracting. I heard you ask the question what everybody's moisture was. All mine's been good except the last one. It's still okay. 18.1 ish.
Yeah.
Was the last one I done, and that's been a couple of 3 weeks ago. But
yeah, ours was coming out between 15 and a half and 17 and a half in that range. So
I started around, I don't even remember now, I'd be lying if I did say it, maybe 16ish. And every pull I made, it was a little bit wetter.
no, it's 15% off.
15%.
Yep. And that's pre-orders for the Georgia show.
Gotcha. Where's that at?
It's in Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville.
Just that it's kind of northeast of Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So that's about 6 hours from me, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. So we got all the 10 frames put back on hive, the wet supers put back on the hives. And I've got 8 frames to put on tomorrow when I get back from North Carolina and Wednesday. So I'm going to do some splits on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to finish getting these bees on pallets. It gets hot and I kind of quit for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell you, I started this morning. I had some stuff to do. I had a dead out I found, and I'll be probably putting that out on a video. And the time I dealt with that, I really wasn't going to do much today except pull a few boxes. The time I dealt with that and went out and pulled a few boxes, By the time 4 boxes, one hive didn't have but 4 hives. 4. And time I got done with that, I was just too tired to go to another yard. You know, I got these small yards to go to.
Yep.
I just said I'm gonna wait in the morning. I go do another one in the morning. You know,
Yep.
try to
Our
get
total,
all in the honey house.
yeah, our total pool this year was just a little over 200 pounds. So,
I've got 6, 7, I think 7 5-gallon buckets right now pulled. I don't
yeah,
expect a whole lot more. Maybe about that again.
yeah.
Um, it just hasn't been a good year for me.
No, it's been a bad year up here. I mean, nobody up here. Clay's gotten the most out of everybody that I've talked to up here so far this year, and he said about 700 pounds. But right up here in the Shenandoah Valley, it's kind of bleak.
Yep.
So yeah, Joe got 500 pounds off 12 colonies. Now I had double that amount of colonies and not even half that amount of honey.
Hmm.
So
Old Keith Spillman, I see him in here. He's just tearing it up this year.
yeah, he is. He's always tearing. He tears it up every year making honey.
Yeah, he kind of does. He's in a good location, evidently.
I'm gonna sneak some hives down that way next time I go down there and plant them up there in the mountain and see what happens.
Yeah, need to find a good place to put several hives out next to him.
Yeah, and just stack them up with supers and come back in July and pick them up.
That's kind of like that app. They got an app out that if you want to buy stock, you can follow Nancy Pelosi. Do
Oh
whatever
man,
she's doing, and you can go follow Keith Spillman and do whatever he's doing.
there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, and DC might make 1,000 pounds this year. What it looks like out there.
Yeah, I think he's had a good year.
Yep.
Decent.
The one I'm curious about to see how much they're going to make is Tom via honeybees.
Yeah.
I want to see how much he's going to get this year.
I done forgot how many colonies he's got. He got a bunch.
Yeah, I know.
Well, him and his wife's workaholics, so there's no telling what'll come out of that.
Well, I'll say this: the older they get, the more they're going to slow down.
Yeah. I second that emotion.
Yeah.
I've worked hard all my life, but now it's got where I can only probably get 10% of what I used to do. And
Yeah.
I am shot. I'm just shot, you know.
Yep. Last Thursday, I was in the bee yard most of the day, and it was in the 80s. And it wasn't really humid because there was a breeze blowing. And I got done all the work I wanted to get done in the bee yard that day. And then Friday morning, we pulled honey, and I was going to go out and do some more. Well, we didn't pull honey Friday. We worked on pallets Friday morning, and I was going to do some more splits Friday afternoon. And I came in here and ate lunch, and I looked at the thermometer, and it was almost 100 degrees. And I said, I'm not going back up there in that heat.
Oh.
So I said, I wonder how much honey you're going to get this year, where you're going to be at. We were talking about how many hives you got and then how much of a workaholic you are. because the
Russell,
older you get, the slower you get.
Russell Koopman says it gets better when you get older. Dang, I'm 70 now. I don't know how much older I'm gonna get.
Oh, you got at least another 20, 25 years, Joey.
Hey. Yeah, Tar Heel. That's about the way it is with me.
Yeah. It just used to run around on the farm doing stuff just at full sprint.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Look, I've worked so much in construction in my life and everything that seemed like on the cold days they'd put you on the cold side of one of these big boilers where everything's just raining down on you all day. On the
Yep.
hot days, you're working inside those boilers,
Yep.
like 105 degrees in there all the time. And I've dealt with that for years. That's why I went to work at a prison, where I could get away from all that. But I don't know. It's something about. I mean, I can mow all day long. Well, let me take that back. I can still mow and get a lot done mowing and bush hogging. But when it comes to beekeeping and throw that suit on, I don't know what it is. I just get burnt out pretty quick, you know.
It's that extra layer of clothing you got to carry around, and
Yeah,
it
yes,
saps
it
the heat.
is.
It saps you.
Yeah.
When are you going to set another line up, Tom?
10,000 pounds.
Yeah. Another 10 drums. That's 6,000. That's 6,500 pounds right there. Those 10 drums.
That's serious.
That's some serious honey. Very serious honey.
I'm starting to feel like I'm out of my league when I come on some of these chats and see what somebody's pulling. I'm still a little old hobbyist.
No, you ain't no hobbyist. Far from it, Joey. Far from it.
Huh. I was trying to see how many you got on here. 70 plus?
72.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's about what I average. And then by the time the end of the week, first end of the week rolls around, it's been 400 and some views on it. So,
You know, it surprises me how many views after a live it gets. It really does. It surprises
yeah.
me.
Yep. How many yards total do you have, Tom? Now, see what Keith said? 10,000 pounds would put him in farmers markets forever. Hmm. Well, glad to have you listening anyway, Tom.
Another thing that kept me from trying to do anything else today, it was supposed to be raining by noon.
Yeah.
And it came a little thunderstorm and lightning, but it never did rain. It was all close by. Hey, I was looking for any kind of excuse I could get.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't do much of anything today. So all I'm gonna do is
See where Charlie got all his stuff pulled, or
yeah, I was talking to him over the weekend. He said he got all his stuff pulled and he got 235 pounds, I think he said.
yeah.
Yeah. 8 yards, getting ready to add 3 more.
Hey, Ambies, honey.
Wow.
8 yards.
Yeah. What's your average population per yard, Tom?
A couple of my yards, I'd like to make them a little bit bigger. I've always kept them around 5 or 6,
Yeah.
but there's one I think I could add maybe half a dozen more because I'm closing 1 yard down.
Yeah, I'm looking for a yard around here local to put bees. I'd like to keep 60 or so hives out on pollination until about June, and then bring them home and split them down.
Well, didn't you take some down to Georgia?
No, they're going this fall.
Oh, okay.
And then when they're done with whatever pollination they're going to do, I'm trying to nail down a couple of contracts here local for apples and lavender, because lavender doesn't bloom until June. So, and it's a 30-day bloom on the lavender. That works out just right. So I've got 2 yards right now handling. Looking for about 2 more. Hey Troy, how are you tonight?
See, he put another video out, but I hadn't got to watch it yet.
Yeah.
I am way behind on beekeeping videos, watching them.
You have my email address?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I don't.
It's shenandoahbeesupply@gmail.com.
Okay. It's on your website too?
Yep,
Okay.
it is. I need to get in touch with Mike.
Mike Berry?
Yep.
Okay. I'll try to contact him and let him know.
Yep, please.
I'll send that email to him.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I was asking you about the other day. I need to talk to you. So he is all over the place.
Yeah, he's here and there. He jumps around pretty good.
Yeah.
I was with him a couple. Let's see what day it was. I done forgot. Thursday or Friday, I was with him checking some bees.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. So I put some of Michael's cut comb frames in hives this year, and I put them right down on top of the queen excluders, and that was the very first thing they drew out, and they're actually pretty. They drew them all out. I had 8 of them, and they drew all of them out, and they look pretty. So, yeah, it just couldn't ask for better looking comb honey. Combs all nice and white, caps are white. It's pretty. So I'll put some of that in a jar and sell it. Wow. It's been a long day today.
It's been a. It seems like it's been a busy day for me, but it's kind of been a long day too.
Yeah. It's not been as hot today as it was over the weekend, but we had a storm come up this afternoon. We got a little bit of rain this afternoon. So I think we got a 1/4 inch of rain.
Well, I was kind of surprised. I was doing a video on what I was working on today, and I was talking about how hot it was and humid. And when I checked, the temperature was like 85-ish, and the humidity was like 70. I don't forgot 72-ish or 75, somewhere in there.
Wow.
That's kind of low for here, the humidity. So
that's high for here.
Yeah, I know it's high for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but
70-some% humidity here. You walk outside and you cut the air with a knife.
Yeah, it's like getting hit in the face with a mop when you walk outside. A hot, wet mop.
Yeah, shop around, Roy. Amazon's usually got the best price on them. Hey, James. Yeah, you got to decide whether you like the plastic or the bamboo.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I don't know much about it. From what I've heard, if you buy 10 of the plastic, you might get one good one out of the bunch.
Yep, that's about right. And if you buy 10 bamboo ones, you'll get 5 or 6 that you can use. Yeah, I use a stainless steel German tool. Seems to work the best for me.
Well, I don't know if that's the same one that some of these guys I watched, like where Bob Benny went, and I can't even think of his name now. The boy in Poplarville here next to me. I think that's what he uses, and it looks like he's been using it for 20 years.
Yeah, you get a good one. You don't like to get rid of it, you know?
Yeah, it's got a lot of wear to it, but he keeps using it.
Yep. Keep it wet. It'll keep right on going. Roy, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I typically do it regardless. and it all it is just a syringe with a micro needle on it, and it's just one drop in that cup. So, but typically it's better to prime that cup when you're going to graft, because the larva will come off at German tool faster that way. You just got to make sure you put it up on the side that you pick it up on. The side that you, when you pick it up, is up. Hey, Ian, is up, and the other side is down, because you'll drown them.
Okay. Coming from somebody that don't graft, how do you prime it?
Well, you've got royal jelly. You can buy royal jelly,
Okay.
and you suck it up in a syringe, and it's like one drop down in the cup that you're going to drop that larva into. And then you graft it and you drop it down in a cup. And if it's been a real dry year like this year, even if you use a Chinese tool, you still might want to prime it. So it just makes it go smoother. Yeah, it's not the same as royal jelly. So how are the nukes looking, Ian? They looking pretty good? I was watching one of his videos the other day. I got to say, he does produce a good video.
Yeah, he does. I wish I had the knack to end one the way he does. Just leave.
Yeah. Hey, Ann.
I actually used my battery powered smoker today. First
Yeah.
time I've used it. It's the first time I got to use it since I got it.
Which one did you get?
Uh, I don't even
The
remember.
one like Charlie got?
Yeah. It seemed to work pretty good. You know, me using a bottle with a honeybee gone, I kept getting confused on which one I need to pick up. There's a couple of times I went to use the smoker and I grabbed a spray bottle or vice versa. that muscle memory works more than you think it does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
And when there wasn't a smoker sitting there, you just grabbing whatever's there.
Whatever's sitting there.
It's kind of weird.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about muscle memory sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
It seemed to
So
work.
it's almost time to treat again.
Yeah.
Won't be long. Jonathan, you're right. That bear fence only works when it's on.
I just saw Max comment there. I like to use the German tube.
Yep.
Best if you prime the cups.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it is hard to remember to turn that charger on sometimes. But if you've ever had a bear, you will remember. You will remember to turn it on.
That probably wouldn't take but one time to forget that thing.
Yep. Well, that's good, Roy.
I tell you, now, the only time I've used charger fences really, for the most part, was when I had feeder pigs years ago.
Yep.
And I probably never would turn the thing off. That's why I use the little spring loaded handles that clip on the gate when you go in.
Yep.
I wouldn't have to turn it off. I can just leave the thing on. Just have to remember to put it back on the gate. I'm sure the one for a bear is a lot hotter than one for a hog.
Yeah. So I wonder if that comment is being made by Melissa or if that comment's being made by Tom. Because if it's being made by Tom, he could be in a lot of trouble. They go and come the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, Amber, he kind of gets in trouble every now and
Yeah, he does.
then. Some people just can't learn.
Yeah, you're right. He'll get it one day. He'll figure it out.
Don't tell Melissa I said that.
She heard it. She had to have heard it. Hey, Brian, how are you tonight? Yeah, but see, Tom, she knows a lot of people on here. So it could very easily get back to her.
Ryan hit the 1,000-pound mark.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if DC breaks 1,000 pounds this year, he won't know what to do. So are you weighing bucket and everything, or are you tearing it out, Clay, and just getting total honey weight? Because I can tell you what a 90 mil bucket weighs, most of them anyway.
Are they about
okay.
2 pounds with the lid?
Yep, they range between 2 and 2.4 pounds.
Yeah.
Empty.
Depends on what lid you use, huh?
Yep, depends on the lid. AB's a new Bes. I weigh my buckets to 50 to 55 pounds. Yep. It's about what mine are. Yeah. It just depends on the lid.
I tell you, I've been with my buckets. I've been that there's a line right at the top of that bucket
Yep.
where that if you go to that line on the buckets I'm using and put the lid on it and weigh it with my scale, of course, it's not a commercial scale. It's like 62 pounds.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's about 60 pounds of honey.
Yep. So we put ours on the scale, tare it, and fill it, and we fill it between 50 and 55 pounds. So, yeah, I'm cheating myself out of 10 pounds of honey, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of listening to them heavy ass buckets.
Yeah, but it only takes one extra bucket for 10 buckets.
Yeah.
To make that difference. So that ain't too bad.
Yeah, it does. You're right, Joe. It does make it easier to dump in the bottling tank that way. That's a full bucket of honey.
I really prefer putting about four gallons in a bucket, but this year I was a little tight with buckets, so I kind of been cramming it in.
Yeah.
I may pour it over in a empty bucket before I dump it in a bottling tank this year.
Yeah. I've done that too. Only dump a half a bucket.
Yeah. Ian says nectar is flowing. Dodges for severe storms. Pesticide spraying. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get a good harvest, Ian.
Talking about pesticides, the DOTD down here's got where they spraying all the time on the side of the road around
Really?
me. Yeah, every time I've seen them 2 or 3 times this year already with a nectar flow going on. Bees all in these ditches with flowers growing.
Yeah.
And they're spraying the side of the road, trying to kill weeds and stuff. That can't be good
Sometimes you
for
just think
bees.
you gotta wonder, is it really worth it?
I mean, yeah, how much do you need to kill weeds, You got bush
Right.
hoggers coming. They're always cutting when the flowers are growing. It just
Yeah.
blows my mind the way they work around here.
Yep.
Let the bloom grow and then cut it down.
Right.
They're not worried about all that though. They might say they are.
Yeah, well. What they say they are and what they do is two different things, right?
Yep. What's Roy talking about there? The barrel filter.
Barrel filters. You talking about the ones, Roy, that go all the way over the top of it, or just that hang on one side of it? Because they make one that it looks like a plastic strainer that goes on a plastic bucket, and then they make another one that is has an insert in it that fits on top of the barrel. Fits over the stainless. It fits over the barrel. I haven't seen those yet.
I don't think I have either.
They make what they call a bag filter. Here's one right here. Arbor Fabricating, 21-inch by 5-inch. It hangs on the side of the bucket, on the side of the barrel. That's not a bad price for it if you use barrels. And it's you can order your choice of from 5 micron all the way to a 1500 micron filter. So there you go. It's $120 on, let's see, on Arbor, ARBOR
Is that a stainless?
Yeah, it's stainless.
Okay.
And it's / 21 by 5-inch drum filter.
It just hooks on the side?
Yeah, it's got 4 hooks on it. You can put a picture of it up.
Sure.
Let's see. There it is. Oh, wrong one. There it is right there.
Now, how wide is that? 21 by
21 inches by 5 inches. 5 inches deep, and I guess that's a diameter.
what size barrel is that for?
Let's see. 55 gallon. The heavy duty drum filter is fitted to a 55 gallon drum with at least 22.5-inch opening. It's fitted with 4 1/8-inch sturdy tabs that easily holds 50 pounds. So there you go. Tom's in here somewhere. There he is. Yep.
Oh, look at there.
Yep. That's not quite what that one is, but it's close. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had this one custom made by Arbor Fab because he was at
2 years
Navi 2 years ago. So one of the differences, I don't know if he had that. We had him put the handle on it.
Yeah, I think so.
I had him put it's like a hose holder, but I have a different one that I use, but you can put a hose in there. I also had him to make these wider. So, and then I think he shrunk this down a little bit. Let me measure it real quick because I had a bunch of food grade plastic drums. So mine measures 19 across. Measures 19 across here. The camera's moving on me here. And, but the difference is the tabs stick out a little bit wider. So a plastic 55 gallon food grade drum is a little bit narrower than a metal one. So depending on what you're using, and if you're going to use one of these work really well. I had him, he'll custom make them for you. So I did 500 micron and had him put those few things in. It's still, I think it's 5 inches. Yeah, it's still 5 inches, but I had him make the tabs a little bit wider. It's fully stainless steel across. But a metal drum is a little bit wider than the other one. So I had him shrink it from 21 down to that 19 inches. And it worked really well, actually.
There's a video on our YouTube page.
Yeah, you can go to
one of those for my bottling tank, one that'd fit it.
It He'll custom make anything you want.
Yep. Now
Doesn't
I've
matter
got
what it is.
filters that'll fit a bottling tank.
You do?
Yep.
I might have to get with you.
I've been really happy with this. I mean, this is one of those things where now we paid more than $120, but like I said, I had him do a bunch of it. He says, you send me everything that you want and I'll customize it to you. And that's basically what we did. But I don't know. I thought it was really fair priced. We basically just put the hose holder on the side of the barrel, pump it into there, and it works good. So you'll still have a little bit on the top if you let it settle for a day or two that you can just skim off the top really easily. And yeah, it's I don't know. I wouldn't. So if you're going to filter the honey, this is kind of the way to go, because we end up having a whole bunch of the 5-gallon bucket filters, the real thin ones you get from Man Lake. They're plastic and you can go 200, 400, 600 microns.
Yeah.
We had several of them. If I'll just say this, if you like watching paint dry, buy those, because oh my gosh, that is a painful process. I basically sold off every one that we had with the exception of one set in case we just had a really small batch to use, or I needed to throw some comb over a bucket and walk away from it. I kept it just for that, but we don't use them anymore. And I was so glad to have gotten rid of them.
At one time I thought those was a good idea, and I learned better, and I went back to the just the regular paint sacks or whatever they call them. Mm-hmm. They're easier to work with than those you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they don't get loaded up, with the cappings.
Sure.
Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ROBT asked the question. I don't remember specifically what it was. Honestly, I'd have to go back in my emails to find it.
Be right back.
Honestly, whatever I spent, it was well worth it. I promise you that. We have no. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're always going to have a bottleneck. We have what I would consider to be very few bottlenecks. It's not one thing that hangs up the line, but for us, the one bottleneck that we had that was painful was before we got the clarifier and before we got this thing. Like I said, we used to go, Joey, we were moving buckets around, and oh my gosh, it was like, it was so frustrating. Because if you're getting honey to flow, really well in a warm environment, it was painfully slow. I mean,
but when I'm dumping a bucket into I got what is it, 19-gallon bottling tank.
Mm-hmm.
Both of the little bucket racks that I got, one of them's worse than the other, but the bucket actually extends down into the tank a little bit. You think with a little bit of thought, they could make that bucket be above the top of the bucket. That way you wouldn't be down into the honey.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I would just soon have that strainer and just set the bucket upside down on it and let it drain out.
Which is basically what this does. So you see how this is offset. So you'd think it sits down in there, but actually if you look underneath, it's got a little bit of a ring inside there. So it about sits even with the top. I mean, it's about a 1/4 inch off.
Yeah.
But
Mark made I don't know if you can see this or not, but I can't.
We could a second ago.
Yeah.
That right there sits on top of a bucket and holds that big strainer right there. And it holds it up out of the bucket.
So, Mark, what's interesting is Melissa and I have a few of the Maxent tanks, and they're fine. But what I was, like you just said on there, Maxent costs a fortune. It uses a bag that's too fine. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I looked at one of their metal ones, and I'm sorry, I can't pay what they were asking for it. I'm not trash talking. I'm just saying, wow, really proud of that thing.
There's the bottling tank strainers right there, Joey.
And that's your stuff, right, Bill?
Yep, it'll sit on a 7 or an 18-gallon tank.
Okay.
Are there any of those that'll sit on a slightly bigger tank than that?
No.
Okay, because if so, I wanted to talk to you. I would actually buy 2 or 3 of those, just
I
like
can
what Lois
get
said.
stuff made. I can get stuff made fairly cheap, depending upon how fast you need it.
Well, I would say potentially if I was going to do something, maybe by Georgia,
That might be possible.
because I can just pick it up from you rather than. I mean, shipping is so doggone expensive now. You know, if you can just get away from shipping something or pick up something from somebody, you're going to save already. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, yeah, I could even bring some. If you wanted to order something like that, I could bring it to EMBA.
Oh, sure, I got you.
Yeah.
I would need to measure the 2 tanks that I have because we have a 16 and then 2 25s. I don't have any reason to get anything bigger than that now. I don't. That works for us just fine. I don't like leaving the honey sit in the tanks for long periods of time, honestly. But anyway, it would be nice occasionally to have when you're trying to. Occasionally, we've had stuff that was like. I don't know. Melissa will have bottles that she uses for like the honey show stuff, and then it sits down there, and I'm like, "Hey, can we do something with these bottles?" Because she just does new ones for the next honey show, and they usually sit in a bottle, and then I usually want to strain it back through, set it on top of the tank, and basically let it just strain through there and let it drip slowly. And having something like I don't know, something like that for the top of the tanks would be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you get me measure your tank across or the diameter of it,
Okay,
and how deep you want it.
sure. Yeah, I'll message you.
My biggest thing is not necessarily straining what's in the bucket, but just have a small enough strainer that the honey goes in good because it's already clean once I got it in a bucket. But if I dump that bucket on top and just lay it there and walk away, flies won't be flying into the honey.
Right.
know?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
late.
they can suck all the honey they want off the strainer, but they can't.
Yeah.
But Tom, I like your strainer that you had because it defeats a lot of problems that most guys have with strainers, which guys were just talking about. So you have this bucket and a bucket strainer, and you can buy these on Amazon. They're diesel fuel strainers. You can buy them, I think 2, 4, or 600 micron, and they work great. And they're cheap. I think you can get them for less than $20, and they fit right on top of a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
But the problem is when they sit down, they go to here.
Yeah.
So this is how you beat that.
Yeah.
The cheap beekeeper. You take an extra bucket.
I know where you're going to go with that.
You cut it off, so that sets right on top of there. And then you set this on there.
Yeah.
And so now your strainer's actually at the top. So you can actually fill the bottom bucket all the way to the top. And I set mine on a scale. So I pour it in until it hits 60 pounds. And then I take this off. I tear it with this. And as soon as I get 60, I lift it off. And I know I got 60 pounds right now. Put my lid on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that's cheap,
That's right. I would say if I'm thinking of a drawback from that, besides straining honey, and those things are painfully slow. I mean, painfully slow.
Yeah.
If
don't take
you
but a
are in a
handful
small
of captains.
extractor, you may not be able to get that underneath the gate, depending on the height of it. That would be my only thought.
I custom designed my base for my extractor so that it would set up high enough. Plus, I'm tall, right? I hate bending over, so I like it. So when I set frames in it, I'm not bending over. I'm actually, got to lift up a little just to look in the bottom. So,
That's right.
But I always have a line of buckets sitting there, just like you say. I'll run them right out of the extractor straight into the bucket, and then it's an assembly line. I just keep shoving them out of the way, or just run them into a drum, and then later I'll come back through and I'll strain it. And that's one of the things I push those guys down there in Nobby. There is not one manufacturer that makes a filling machine that's tall enough to put a 5-gallon bucket underneath it. Nobody. And so, I kept telling them, look, put a longer stem on the back so that you can do that. And I said, and you'll have something that nobody else has.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's a great idea. But nobody's, to my knowledge, to date, nobody's produced it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I
No,
saw
because it would cost too much to produce, number one. Number two is the scale that they use on those machines is a micro scale. It only goes up to, I think, to 6 pounds is the most you can get in a micro scale. And it's just not feasible to do.
We basically, our shortcut is we pump everything into drums, goes through a 500 micron screen, and then whenever I decide that I want to go back to those drums, because I'm usually sick of looking at honey and don't want to touch it until I absolutely need it kind of scenario, I'll go back out there and I'll start pumping some of them down. And it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be a month. Start pumping them down. So I use an actual pump with an inch and a half hose, I think. Inch and a half hose, and I set my bucket on just a cheap scale that we have, tear it out, and I start pumping honey into it. And when I get close, I just basically shut the thing off, lift it up, move that bucket off. I have another clean bucket ready to set on there, and we'll pump down at least a drum, sometimes multiple drums at a time, before we clean everything up.
Yeah.
So,
I'm using my Lyson bottling machine. So when I'm putting into a drum, I'm setting it on a caster. Are you using casters? How are you moving your drums? Are you using a dolly to move them around, or do you?
Yeah, that's right. So we do. There's like it's a dolly that has like 5 casters on it, and it only sits like this high off the ground.
Yeah.
And it'll hold, I want to say, I got some that would hold, I think, at least 1,000 pounds. Now, you don't need to hold 1,000, but trust me, even with 650 pounds on one of those dollies, it doesn't want to move as easily as you might think,
No, it doesn't.
But I'm not going far,
Right.
maybe wheeling across the garage or something like that. So I'm not typically going that far. It's not a big deal. Then we usually just pump it down into buckets and I stack them up off to the side.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling it out of the drum and sticking it into my Maxant double wall machine. And then and I just drop my hose straight into the bottom, right off my Lyson bottler. And then I have an extension I put in it. And so I'm pumping it through my Lyson and pumping it and dropping it into my bottling tank until it's full, which is 300 not 300 gallon, 300 pound, I guess, 5 buckets. And so I can put 5 buckets in there, and then I let it heat up, and then the wax goes to the top, and then I'll pump off the bottom, and then at that point, I'll run it through my screen, and then then I'm good to go for my customers. But I sell probably as much in a 5-gallon bucket as I do in bottles. I got someone coming tomorrow for 10 buckets, and then I got another customer coming next week for 1,000 pound in bucket.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing that I would do differently is if we were to build an actual honey house, a designated space that we just extract in, we bottle in, clean room kind of deal, with wash sinks and the whole 9 yards. I think what I would consider doing is buying a really big tank that I could put like maybe a couple barrels in at a time. And if you needed to like put it on a low heat, then you could. And then basically have some stainless steel piping that I could run to fill up. I don't know, like buckets, or have some valves in there that you could actually run over to a couple of bottlers or something like that. I would have a pretty short run, so keep the tank very close to the area we're going to bottle. That way you don't have to purge a whole huge length of line. But
Sure.
that would probably be a thought that I would work toward in the future, because the nice thing is, as we tend to get more gray hair on top of our head, or like in Joey's case, lose the hair, whichever it might be. Love you, Joey. I don't even want to lift a 60-pound bucket, because right now I have to heft a 60-pound bucket about neck height to get it into one of 3 bottling tanks. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine for now,
That's
but
pretty
ask
tough.
me in 10 years, and I'll probably change my tune. a little
That's
bit.
tough for a young
Probably
fella.
Like probably was.
Yeah, I bought at Harbor Freight one of their lift tables. Their hydraulic table, and I set and it'll lift 1,000 pounds. And so when I fill it, it probably weighs close to 600 pounds. I think it's heavy. I can tell you that. Plus it's got the water jacketed and everything in there. So when I'm filling it, the top of it's maybe mid of my chest, and then what I do is then I start foot pumping it, and I jack it as high as it is. Then I get it up as high as my stainless steel table that my bottling machine's at. That way I'm holding more like a gravity. The gravity's help feed it. It's not pulling it from the floor up. It's actually pulling it almost from the same level that it's at, which, like I say, it's a nice situation. Then if I want to move my bottling tank out of the way, it's on a cart, and I can just move it wherever. And I'll have to send one of these nights. I'll have to show you a picture. But I did buy a tank like you're talking about 2 years ago, and ever since it's still, because I don't have a building that's big enough to get it inside. But it's huge. It holds 8 55-gallon drums. It's a double walled. It came out of a brewery. It has a mixer inside, that slow
That's
mixer.
awesome.
And then it has a set of stainless steel pipes, coils that run through the bottom center of it, that pipe out through the wall that you can hook it up to a hot water heater, so you can regulate the temperature off of a hot water heater, or whatever you want. And then the bottom is completely funneled down, kind of like a grain bin, and then has a nipple on the bottom that you can hook a pipe, about a 2.5-inch pipe to, so then you can run it back out and run it wherever. And then it's got flip lids on it that flip up at the top, but it also has stainless steel fittings so that you can run all your lines in. So when you're running your pump out of your clarifier, you can actually run everything in there, so that all your honey's basically going to be the same color, and that's the problem sometimes with, depending on when you're extracting, you end up with a situation that you start with really light honey, and then it gets a little darker and a little darker and a little darker. Sometimes at the stores and frown on that, depending on what stores you're at, and they're lots of different colors. So we can blend it that way, but that'll go in the new building for sure. I'm just waiting to get that sucker up. But
yeah, that would be awesome to have that, because you can fill it as much or as little as you want. If you want to put a drum in there, or 2 drums, or 8 drums.
Yeah.
So that would be what I would look for, is like a brewery or a microbrewer that's going out of business, and then snag a tank that they're trying to wholesale some stuff out, right? And then snag it, and I don't know, hang on to it until you have the right time or application to use it. That would be the most ideal.
I gave $1,000 for that tank, and it's probably worth almost that in stainless. And
I'm sure.
The guy had 4 of them. I'm like, dude, I wish I had the space for it, but we tried to lay it over in the bed of my truck, and the tank was bigger than the bed of my truck, so we ended up having to stand it up, and it looked really odd going down the road. And I had to get my wife and daughter to stand on the back of the skid steer to take it off, because my skid steer was 1,000, and I couldn't get it up off the bed at that. I mean, it was tipping. So So it's a big tank, but it's nice. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I can only imagine how many thousands of dollars that cost that brewery when they had those manufactured.
I can't imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't cost them 10 grand a piece for one of those tanks.
Yeah. And I see this quite often. So, if you're on Facebook Marketplace, look on there for, stainless, just put in their stainless tanks, and you would be surprised
Stainless
at
tables,
how
too.
many different things like that will come up. That people, I don't know what happens. Like you say, they go out of business and some demo crew comes in and they grab them and drag them home and put them on Marketplace for a little nothing. They don't want them to go to the scrapyard because, they're going to get some money out of it, but they can double their money by selling it to people like
Oh,
us.
for sure. Yeah, that's how we got a couple of our stainless tables actually is through Marketplace. They're rated for a commercial kitchen, which check on that. Make sure that when you're buying stainless tables that it has, I believe it's what is that, HFC rated?
Yeah.
I think so there is different grades of stainless, and certain ones I don't think they'll allow in commercial kitchens or what have you. So we made sure when we got ours, they had that stamp on there. Because I think we have 1, 2, 3. We have either 4 or 5 of them. And that's another thing too. Like when you're setting tanks on top of those, I was really nervous, and I started calculating out weights of what I thought one of these tanks was with water and with honey in it, filled, and trying to figure out where my max was at, because I'm like, Melissa's like, well, I want to put this other big tank on this table. And I'm like, no. And she's like, why not? And I'm like, because per my calculations, we're actually over the rating on the table. And I'm like, the last thing you want to do is come home, go downstairs and see 2 25-gallon tanks flipped over because one leg crushed or something weird happened. And now you're trying to clean up potentially 50 gallons of it. You might have cracked or bent a tank or busted something. I mean, I'm like, that would be some money.
Mind you, we don't ever fill the tanks full, though.
We don't ever fill those tanks full. Yes, Joe, NSF. Thank you. I guess that's National Food or Safety Food, something or other.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, yes. But you can usually find those tables for a very reasonable price on the Marketplace. Kitchen go out of business, or who knows, any number of things.
Yeah. Roy asked what I sell a bucket for, $265, which is high for my area, but I'm not very far from the Maryland line. So if you go to Bee Culture Honey, their monthly honey price, I can drive 20 minutes and the price between me and Maryland on a bucket will jump $50, $75. So I try to ride in the middle between what they suggest in Pennsylvania, which is area 1 or zone 1. And I think zone 2 is like, Bill, I think you're in zone 2 down there, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, some of those places. So, so it's a significant difference. So I have a lot of people who come, across state line buy it, but we saw a lot of honey in buckets. We really do. But, I don't know. It's funny. Bees are the same thing. Like if you go up, like here in Pennsylvania, we're surrounded with so many commercial beekeepers. The price of a package of bees are cheap. Nukes can be fairly cheap, but then all of a sudden you drive 4 hours up in the New England states, and the same bee package I sell for like $135, $140, they're selling it for $180 to $190. Some people $200 for the same package, which is crazy. Their nukes, they're running $250 to $300 up there. So.
That sounds a little bit like St. Louis with the package. There's really not anybody in St. Louis that actually builds packages. But the one thing that I found is there's one place that brings them up here, and she gets almost $200 for a package of bees. So I mean, it's pretty interesting that. I actually thought about buying a shaker box. Which I've gotten a couple of leads on them, but I think they run about $800 for a shaker box. And I actually thought about getting a can sealer, buying the bulk cans, mixing up your own syrup. And then you need that crank thing that'll seal the top of your cans up that you can poke the hole in for the package and all. And then buying a bunch of the bulk package boxes and then doing some of them. But I don't know. For right now, I'm going to stick with nucleus colonies, but I don't know. I might in the future. I might offer packages actually built out of my own colonies, just because I don't know. I feel like there's a higher profit margin there for us rather than selling a nucleus colony.
Yeah.
You know, you get a rebound in 3 weeks if you shake off 3 pounds. Take a little bit longer to rebound from pulling a nuke. So,
Yep. Greg, I bought a shaker box and a funnel and stuff off of I think it's Greg's Heating and something out of California. I don't know if it's probably the same
Yep.
people that you've heard
that
of.
was the same place that somebody suggested to me to buy out of. I'm like, heating, cooling. And I'm like, well, that makes sense actually, because they deal with tin work. They're basically tinners.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it made sense.
And I'll tell you what, it is high quality. It's nice. I mean, they did not cut any corners on anything they did. The funnel that sets down on top of the big cage, the bulk cage, and it's designed more for shaking bulk bees than, I mean, there's a funnel there and for shaking just 3 pounds if you want to go that way, or you can, shake 30 pounds into a big cage. It comes with the whole outfit. But it's nice because it has a spring-loaded trap door. So when it sets down on it, it opens the door, and as soon as you lift it off, the door automatically closes by itself, which is pretty smart. I mean, like
For sure.
Through.
They've really put some thought into this
They did.
piece. I'm sure some commercial guys that had him build it, a buddy, and then he says, all right, I want you to do this. I need you to tweak it this way or that way. And then once they got the thing perfected, the guy's like, is there really that much of a market for it? And come to find out, they went from, I'm sure they still do heating and cooling and tenor work, but now they're doing this for beekeepers.
Yeah. Fully portable. Let's see.
So what else going on, Rob?
Fixing equipment. So I just got both skid steers up and running. And then I worked on my big articulating lift. That's that big Walden machine I bought it'll lift, I think 6,000 pounds, and it weighs almost 10,000 by itself. I couldn't get the thing to run. It was running great, and then it just started puffing smoke and then choking and carrying on. And I called a couple fellows and said, hey, come to my house and look at this machine. I don't have time to monkey with it. Well, with the weather being so hot, and then we got all that rain. I'm guessing you guys got rain. We got, 3.5, 4 inches of rain just overnight. So I went out today and I actually cut the fuel line off and hit the key, and it was not pumping anything at all. So then I put a hose on it and a gravity fed gas to the carburetor. Thing fired right up and purred like a cat. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So now I'm looking for a fuel pump for about a 1970 Ford 172 cubic inch motor. It's the same thing they put in like Jubilee tractors and stuff. So I was shopping on eBay and different places trying to come up with it. I have a tour off, but I'm thinking I'm just going to put a plate over. It's a mechanical pump. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make my own plate and put a gasket there and actually just put a low pressure electric pump on it and just be done with it that way. Hey, let's see you.
Amber, she didn't hear anything that was said earlier, okay? Just FYI.
I was not listening. I was making dinner, so I have no idea what was said.
You really don't want to know.
Probably not.
Tom really don't
Probably
want you to know.
I'll have to go watch the rerun.
Nice knowing you, Tom.
Thanks, Joey. It's been a pleasure, fellas.
So
He's safe for another day.
I was asking about, did I auction property? Did I sell my property? No, not yet, but we're working that way. We still got too much stuff to get off of it. How did you get your auction property? So I bought 2 properties in the month of April, and I bought them just through a realtor. They were put up for sale the first one I bought for the business here in Carlisle, just a few miles from my house. It was on the market, I think, 3 hours, and I seen it, and I called my realtor and I said, go ahead and put an offer on that at full asking price with no contingencies. She's like, you want to go look at it? I said, no. I said, I want to buy it. I said, it's not going to last long. So we did. And I think in 2 or 3 days, they called and said they accepted your offer. It's your property. And it was a steal of a deal. It had its own private well, its own private septic system, and electric on it. Had a pretty nice trailer with a 2.5 car garage, 2.5 acres. And their asking price was $125. And I gave them the full $125 and it was gone. So we got that. And then 10 days later, we bought another property, a cabin in the woods with 12, just almost 13 acres. And that one, because we're close enough to DC, I did not think we would be able to get that property for their asking price. They were asking $240, and we ended up putting down $270 with no contingencies. There was, I think, 2 other offers higher than ours, but for whatever reason, they took our offer. And so we've been we have another property here next door, so we're in the process of cleaning that out. The whole basement's full of bee stuff. The whole backyard's full of bee stuff, and if you go by, the front yard's mostly full of bee stuff. so we're trying to get that out so that we can put that one on the market and hopefully have it sold before the end of the year. So we don't have to pay capital gains on that one since we bought and selling and buying the same year. So we're kind of moving in that direction, but not moving as fast as we probably should.
So the one property with the trailer, are you going to use that and then like as a rental?
So that one there is going to be straight up just business property. So we're looking to put like a 60 or an 80 by 100 steel building there, and it'll be, your ideal everything: storage, honey house, everything, heated floor, anything you can imagine. Like, I'm going to go look at a lot of different people who have nice honey houses, have it custom designed and exactly the way we want it. So that way it's once and done. Or like I say, I ain't getting any younger. I just turned 57 this year. So I want to have it so that, we bought that big, Cowan 60 frame extracting line here back in the spring. That's going to go in there. I'm trying to make everything so it's a 1 to 2 man operation to do everything that you want to do. Be able to, pull into the building, store everything, fix your stuff. Everybody is always out of room, and I want to have more room that I know what to do with, so that way I can lose everything. I don't know where
like a good plan.
I don't know where to leave it. I bought a table saw this week because I can't find the guide for my other one.
Hey, so in your garage sale, Amber brings up a really good point in here. Let me know when that shaker box comes on the market. All right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we are going to sell some stuff. We have a lot of things that I just really do need to part with, and I'm more of a hoarder collector than I am a seller. So we go to get rid of it. We'll have some really good deals. It just needs to go. I don't need to move it to another property. If I'm not using it by now, I probably won't use it in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see.
Rob, that kind of reminds me, when I can't find something I have, I go buy a new one and I find the other one within 7 days after I purchase a new one.
Yeah. Well, that's why I bought this other skid steer, because I have so much to move. I mean, like, I got a lot. I mean, it's a lot to move. It really is. And I thought, if I got to load everything up, like, I probably got 50 drums full of sugar, and to you lift those up and you put them on a trailer, and then you drive the trailer 7 minutes away to the other property to unload. Now you got nothing to unload with, right? So now you got to drag your skid steer over there.
Yeah.
So I went out and I found a skid steer identical to the one I had. I bought it for $2,000, and it had some bugs that had to get worked out. And I actually picked it up today, brought it home. It just got, the carburetor got gunked up on it, and I couldn't get it to run. So they flushed it all out for me, put a new filter on it, and now it's running like a top. And so now I got one at each property. So if I can load with one, I know I can unload with the other, because they lift the same weight because they're the same machine. So that's kind of one of those things we do. And then the thought process also is, at some point I'm probably going to run bees back to Georgia. And when I do that, I don't want to have to haul skid steers back and forth. So I'll run one to Georgia, and it can just stay down there, and I'll leave one up here. So
it doesn't pay to trailer an 8,000 or 10,000 pound piece of machinery for several hundred miles.
No, and I see it happen all the time, and it takes up too much space on your trailer, because then people are like, I got to make an extra trip because I didn't get everything down I need to get down, right? I ended up having to leave 50 colonies behind, or I couldn't take my feed totes with me because I got my skid steer on and stuff like that. So yeah, for $2,000, what the difference, time and the capability of hauling stuff like that, it's just so much easier just to leave it down there and be done with it. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, heck, if you got a running skid steer for $2,000,
oh yeah,
I mean, even if the thing's primitive looking,
yeah,
you're on the winning side of that.
Yeah. Well, I pulled in, and the guy goes, "You want to look at it?" I said, "If you can drive it on my trailer, I'll hand you $2,000 right now." And I bought it in the dark. That's the way it was. And we came home, and like I said, we have repacked 3 cylinders out of the 4, replaced 7 hoses, and the wheels are all good. Everything else is good. There's no other leaks. And I just cleaned the carb up now, and so it's ready to do some work. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think I have $500 in repairs in it. So
wow, that's not bad. But today's how far today's money doesn't go.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all. Shit, every time I go down, you can't go down to the dealership. Like I have a couple Bobcat machines. You can't go down to Bobcat without dropping $100 bill on even something simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it's just like impossible.
My brother turned me on to this company. It's called G&D, Gas and Diesel. It's run by Mennonites. It's a pretty good sized business too. And all they do is primarily work on skid steers of any shape, size, model. And they have kind of a junkyard of old stuff sitting around, and buckets and forks and just all kinds of just dumb stuff, backer plates. $40 an hour labor.
Holy cow. That's cheap.
It is.
Wow.
I can't work on it for myself for $40 an hour. So I just load it up, take it in, drop it.
There's a fabricator near us. So one of our machines we use and stay stationary at the shop for loading salt into the V-box hoppers, and it doesn't leave the site. The problem is a skid steer bucket is very thick material, but when you use it for several years for salt, I promise you it'll get very thin very quickly. And that's just what happened. It developed a hole in it. So when I'd pick up a load of salt and go to pick up, it would be dumping an area of salt straight out of the bottom of it. Yeah. So I finally was looking around trying to find another used bucket, because I didn't want to buy a new one for what we were going to do. Anyway, the short of it is the fabricator I know, he had basically reskinned the whole bottom of it and then solidified a couple areas for literally next to nothing for that. So having a good fabricator, much like what you're talking about, or someone who is very handy, that does very good work, treat them well.
Yeah. Yeah, these are great guys.
That's good.
But anyhow,
I feel like Bill's doing some number crunching there in the background. He's fixing to make us a good deal on something, Rob. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
Well, he looks more like he lost something.
oh,
No,
maybe he's trying to figure out.
Tom
some
was
shit
right.
over there.
I'm crunching numbers.
I see steam coming out of his ears, so I knew he was doing some kind of number crunching.
Yes. So,
Yep.
did you see that I had a bear attack this past weekend?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I seen that
So-
video.
So I called FSA today and to see if I had coverage on anything, and they're like, "You can count your losses." I think I lost 3 colonies, but they haven't got the bear yet, so we might lose more tonight. But because I'm not putting a fence up, and I'll shoot the bear first. But they and I called our fish and game here, so they were supposed to call me today and go out and look at it. So they're supposed to pay me for the damaged hives and stuff, and then but then I can count through FSA. I can count the loss. So which I don't know. Have you seen any of the FSA stuff this year? Like that big beautiful bill. So that stuff is set in stone now. What they pay out may change, but so from 2026 and going forward, the standard loss is 15%. Anything over 15% loss, you're going to get paid for colony collapse disease.
Yep.
I
heard it was going to go up this year.
They're paying $130 per colony, which is fantastic. And I'm about to apply for emergency feed because of all the drought that we've had here, like in my area. We're in what they call drought warning or something like that, and it's dry. I went to my cabin last Thursday, and we dug down about 2 feet with a post hole digger to plant some trees, and I'm telling you what, it was dust the whole way down. And we put 5-gallon bucket of water in it, and before we could get the tree in it, it was already gone. And so we had put another 5-gallon bucket in there as we backfilled it, just to try to get the hold some moisture so the tree would root well. But it is very dry here. Well, until last night. Like I say, last night we got 3.5, 4 inches of rain overnight.
That's still not a lot if you're that dry.
Yeah, for real.
We had just a few miles from my house. I mean, it was almost like tornado-like conditions here. I mean, it was like wind blowing, the rain driving sideways, like white out. Just all my gutters couldn't take it. They were overrunning all my gutters and stuff. But we had a lot of power lines and stuff down and trees, and there was just a campground not very far from here. A mother and a teenage son, they were running for cover, and a tree blew over and killed them both. And so, but we have a lot of damage in the area. Thank God we didn't get any damage, but there's still a lot of people here that have no power. But yeah, so we didn't get anything for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and it all comes in one day. So, but
Yep, that's the way it works.
yeah, I don't understand it. Didn't used to be that way, did it, Bill?
No, it didn't used to be that way.
Well, so I don't know.
Used to be you got rain 2 or 3 times a week, and everything was green, and bees made a lot of honey, and you didn't have to worry about a lot of junk going on with them. It's just the opposite now.
Yeah, total opposite. Yeah.
All good things must come to an end sooner or later. So
I don't ever recall when I was a kid like hearing of a tornado warning or even a tornado touching down, and now it just seems like every other week or every third week or something, somewhere nearby, someone's posting that tornado watch in effect or something, and I'm just like, what in the world? Like, what has changed? I mean, I don't know. The global warming, I don't know. I like to think there was global warming after this past week here, because I mean, we had and I'm sure you had it too, Bill, like over 100 degrees almost every day last week. And I was like, this is just crazy. So, but and all of a sudden now I'm looking at 3-4 days in a row that's supposed to be under 85. So I'm gonna try to get some formic on this week and before the weather goes wacky again. Raining now in Central Maryland and headed east.
Bill, I'm gonna get on out of here. I'll see. Enjoy
All
the
right,
chat.
Joey. Thanks for coming in.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
See you, Joey.
You too, Tom.
Oh, you're getting singled out.
That's my buddy.
That's because I was picking on him earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got in late and was researching a stupid fuel pump. So, but I see Charlie got all his honey pulled, and what, Billy, yours all in too, or you still got a little way to go?
I got all mine in too.
Okay, yeah. My bee still had a pile of nectar in when I pulled honey last week, and so I only pulled stuff that was 100% capped or 80% capped, and anything that was less than that I left in there, hoping they would finish drying it out and capping it, and I don't know. I went out looking for queens this week. I had people coming for queens, and a lot of my 2 and 3 frame nukes are almost honey bound, and so I don't know what's going on or where they're finding it. Like I say, we've got a little rain one day and a little rain another day, and during those real hot spells. But I don't know what's producing or where they're getting it at. But I'm going to have to do something this week with them. They're getting honey bound for sure. The little common honey bound. But let's see. But yeah.
Well, everybody, it's 10 o'clock. So I'll bring this one to a close for another Monday night. And so Wednesday night is the stream team. Thursday night is Keith, and I believe the Todd show is on this week, or were they on last week? Which was it? I don't remember. I'm getting old. I don't remember. But anyway, Friday night is Charlie, and Saturday night is Joey. So we'll see you at some point there later during the week. Y'all have a good night.
All right. See you, Bill. Thanks.
Good night.